Yeah, I think this is a huge opportunity. This event has brought together governments, partners, private sector, civil society, and international development institutions to think through, how we can tackle the issue of food insecurity in Nigeria. And I think the one big takeaway that I'm seeing, I keep hearing over and over again, is the role that partnerships play. And when you have these folks in the room, I believe it's a huge opportunity. We need to get to the point where Nigeria can feed itself. As the U.S. Mission Director has said, there's a population of 30 million Nigerians that are food insecure. This is almost the population of Ghana. And so this is an opportunity for us to really strengthen the food systems to not only feed Nigeria, but also the countries that border Nigeria. There are huge opportunities for Nigeria to be a net exporter of food. This is an opportunity to bring together all different stakeholders. The needs are great, even with the project that we're handling, which is the Feed the Future Rural Resilience activity. We've seen that there's an opportunity to bring local solutions, to bring sustainable value chains, which involves women, youth, and all the partners. And so I think it's a unique opportunity. I'm interested to see how these conversations will go and to see what learnings also we can look at from the past previous iterations of this event.
Well, looking at food systems and then taking it from the angle of change makers, I think is significant because definitely our agricultural ecosystem has areas that require changes. And so when you bring the concept of change to look at any system, I think that is something very significant. So I want to congratulate Sahel for choosing this team. Definitely, we can't continue our agriculture the old way. A lot of things have to change. And I'll give you examples. Our agriculture has been largely rain-fed based. We talk about only the rainy season. Thereafter, a pocket of maybe dry season activities here and there, maybe usually in horticultural crops, but nothing more. So this time around, we're intentional, we're deliberate, and we are now all out for back-to-back farming, where we'll be able to take advantage of both the rainy season and then the dry season to ensure that we continuously produce. Because one of the challenges is that when you have abundance of food, definitely it will impact on price in terms of bringing down the price. But when you have less, definitely it will also impact negatively on price. And I believe the challenges we are seeing that led to this food inflation is driven by so many factors. The first being the massive flood of 2022, and partly even starting from 2021 when we started seeing a flood. But 2022 was more massive. And that flood destroyed a lot of farmlands. And you also remember leading to the 2023 election, there was change in currency. A lot of farmers had to give out their commodities in exchange for money, more or less giving out their commodities at giveaway prices. That also impacted on many farmers not having sufficient capital to get their inputs and the like to go back to the next season. So if you also look at the global environment, the Russia-Ukraine war also had its own negative impact on the global food system, of which Nigeria, with some substantial imports dependence, actually have to pay the price. And so we are aware of all of these things. And what we're trying to do now is to look inwards at our massive potential. Now, don't get me wrong. Nigerians are not going to eat potentials. Nigerians want to eat food. But the potential is there in terms of areas where we can do irrigation. We have large water bodies, both the River Niger and the River Benue. And you agree with me that with all the river basins, we believe we should bring all of these things into production. And so at a way to go against the 2023-2024 rainy season, we have the National Agricultural Growth Scheme Agro Pocket Project that is continuing, where we are targeting overall about 750,000 hectares of land for wheat, for maize, for rice, and cassava where possible. And so overall, we are changing the narrative. And we want, when we finish the dry season farming, the rainy season farming should begin to come in. Now, in some instances, it is even possible for people to go into more or less like 3 sessions. So how we can achieve that is when you have improved varieties. So our research institutes are also focusing on what we call climate smart technologies by ensuring that we have varieties of our crops that will be short duration, that will be drought tolerant, and disease resistant. Now, we did an annual, performance survey of this wet season. And what we found out was interesting because we realized that a number of our farmers are now relying on, improved seed. I think about 65% of all farmers said they're now using improved seed. But, we also had dry spell around July, August. There was this period. In some places, they witnessed up to 30 days, in some places up to 45 days, and even more. Now, what happened is that many of those who planted improved varieties were able to get those crops getting revived when, we started getting precipitation, that is rain. So the importance of this is the fact that, yes, our farmers are now realizing that if you have the right variety that are drought tolerant and disease resistant, they can withstand some of these vagaries of the weather, which is beyond our own control. So we are doing all we can to introduce more changes. And one of it, again, is the fact that we need to get the youths into agriculture. Now, in doing so, we realize the youths also will not want to depend on the rudimentary, equipment that are being used, hoe and cutlass and the like. So basically here, the youths would like to go mechanize. And so President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his magnanimity and visionary thinking, has already approved, that we bring up, some mechanization program. And the Federal Executive Council has already approved 3. The Greener Hope, mechanization program, then the Belarus Agric Mechanization Program, and then the John Deere Agric Mechanization Program. All of these mechanization programs are designed to bring in modern tractors that are actually computer-based. And I think that is what will resonate more with the youth. Some of them are definitely AI integrated because they have precision. And so in terms of planters, in terms of ridges, in terms of all the things, we're having tractors that are now going to be delivered to Nigeria that will support the removal of hoe and cutlass in our operations. Now, if this happens, I believe the youth will embrace agriculture. They will be able to show creativity as they are already showing anyway, because we've seen some youths already taking, the challenge. And the annual performance survey actually also gave us indication to that effect, that more youths have taken on to agriculture than the previous years. So what I want to say here is that it's work in progress. We're not yet there, but obviously and definitely we already have a pathway in terms of what we are doing, and we believe at the end of the day, we're definitely going to deliver on something positive.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. So the object of this conference is that all of these things are actually put in place. Can we say, how long can we wait to begin to see the positive impact in terms of change, food security, and the rest of them?
Well, for me, we're already beginning to see the impact, because even this survey has shown that there is marginal increase in production in most of our commodities, the staples, which shows that a lot of farmers have gone back. Despite the challenges, we are having farmers that are already going back. Because you can't be having increase if, despite all the areas where insecurity has cut out production, flood has cut out production, yet we are witnessing marginal increase, then definitely something is happening. So all the efforts we've been doing since last year is beginning to also show fruit. Now, like I said, 65% of farmers have said they are now using improved seeds because we've asked our research institutes to make improved seeds available, which they are already doing as we speak. So I think the result will begin to trickle in. And of course, agriculture has seasonality. And even if we're going to go into back-to-back production, the minimum you have to wait, even when you plant today, is about 3 months, except for some other commodities, horticultural crops that maybe within 30 days, 1 month, you are beginning to see the result of what you are planting. But what is important here is I need to underscore the fact that we have a lineup of activities that are already going, and we continue to get into the ecosystem of our agriculture one after the other. And I'm convinced if we keep our legs on the pedal as we have done, and we continue in this manner, by the time we get to next year rainy season, I'm sure a lot more will have improved because the tractors will have arrived. By next rainy season, more tractors will be available. But this rainy season also, we witnessed 2% increase in use of tractorization by farmers in the survey we carried out. So these are all yielding fruits because while we speak about the mechanization program, remember we are also in partnership with a lot of state governments. And states like Niger, Jigawa have already procured their tractor. Nasarawa has tractors. So all the states also, in synergy with what we are doing, are introducing tractors, and we are beginning to see the use of these mechanization tools across the various farmlands. And the result of this survey has confirmed that. So I don't think we are saying that, no, wait. Yes, the issue is that somebody who is hungry, we want to get food today. If somebody says, I'm hungry, he wants to see food right now. But even if the food is available, there are processes through which the food will have to be brought to him. So that short interval is there. And I think in our own case, there will be that natural interval. But what is important is if you are hungry and you go home and your mom says, oh, don't worry, I'm already in the kitchen. The fact that there is already pot on the fire, the fact that somebody is cutting down some food items, I think you will get the comfort that, okay, I'm sure in some very short time, this food will be ready. I want to submit to Nigerians that we are doing that. In fact, in some instances, the food is already out.
Peace is very critical to food security. Can you speak to that in Nigeria?
Well, let me say this. You know, when things happen and they are tagged as bad, they register in our brain to the extent that sometimes even when the good start coming in, people will not believe the good has started coming in. The truth of the matter is that no one is denying the fact that there is no insecurity in the country. But what has government been doing? Government has been doing quite a lot. There are a lot of areas where farmers have returned back to their land. My state is an example. I was in the Senate representing Niger North, and Niger North was impacted. I've had cause to complain on behalf of my people on the incessant attack by bandits in places like Mariga and Magama local government, for example. As I speak to you today, my political supporters that I know who are farmers have all declared to me that they've gone back to farm. In fact, some who are living in Kontagora have also gone into Mariga local government to even farm because the farmlands are now available. So, I want to say that yes, there are pockets of insecurity here and there, no doubt about it, but I think government is also doing quite a lot in getting back peace into areas where there are trouble before. Another good example is Kagara local government. 2 days ago, I was on the phone with His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kagara, and he confirmed to me that yes, because of the fertilizer programs we had, he distributed fertilizer, and that a lot of his farmers have gone back to farm. And that he is talking to me, is right now in Kagara, which before he finds very difficult to do. So I think government is winning the battle. And I think we should begin to encourage government by reporting that, yes, there are improvements. There are a lot of areas where before, if you want to travel, you think twice. But these days, people are traveling. Even the Abuja-Kaduna road has become safer. You need to travel if you have traveled through the night, going to Kano.